Good evening, everybody. It is 5:30, October 23rd, 2025. We're going to go and get started with our Planning and Zoning Commission meeting tonight. Before we get started, we're going to do a couple admin things. I do know we have an excuse absent for one commissioner. Kimberly Cheney will be absent today. It is excused. We also have just a regular absent for Lori Lindsay, Commissioner Lori Lindsay, who will also be absent today. Okay? As we get started, would everybody please stand for invocation, please? Led by Commissioner Deborah Kelly.
Heavenly gracious Father, we just stand before you today, just first of all, giving you all the praise and all the honor, because you are worthy to be praised. We just ask, God, that you just guide us, help us make the decisions that will benefit our city as well as our citizens, to make this place a better place to live and raise our families. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for allowing each and every one of us to be here. In Jesus' holy and precious name we pray. Amen.
Okay. Please remain standing for the pledge of allegiance and the pledge to the state Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please be seated. As we get started, before we get started here, is there anyone in the audience that wants to address the commissioners here in regards to anything not on the agenda tonight? Anything not on the agenda for tonight? Whether it be just nothing? Okay. Commissioners, we're going to continue with the adoption of the minutes. Have y'all had a chance to look over the minute for September 25th, 2025? And if so, we have any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the meetings for September 25th, 2025.
I move that we approve the minutes from September 25th, 2025.
I have a motion to approve the minutes for September 25, 2025. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion carries. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open the public hearing. We're going to conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding a zone change from retail to planned development, multifamily, on approximately 40.663 acres of land and identified as part of Tract 1A, Tract 3, Tract 4 on the John C. Hale Survey Abstract 202 in the city of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, that identified as Kaufman County, CAD, property ID 235024, 235025, and 7672. We have Janet's going to go ahead and give us some presentation on that. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. This is a second and third phase of one of the developments that you all are already familiar with. It's under the development of Westwood Residential. And just to give you a background, Phase 1, which was on 9 acres, contains 300 acres. That's known as the Travis, and that's currently in process. Now, today, and that was presented by P&Z back in February of '23 and agreed upon and made a recommendation to council on March 21st of 2023. There's also a copy of that PD ordinance in your packet for you to review if you want to get re-familiar with it. We had a construction plat on Phase 1 in March of '28 or '24, and this board did again make a recommendation to City Council. So today we want to talk about Phase 2 and 3 of this development. It's going to be like 2 phases, about 333, Jeff? 324 and 342 units per each phase. And we sent out 14 letters to abutting landowners. At the time that this this agenda was posted, we had not received any responses, either in favor or not in favor. This week, I got 2 in favor of the development. Have not had any responses back not in favor. If you will go through, we'll do a layout of it, go to the zoning or the location map. You see the whole here of Phase 2 and 3. Then when you come to the next page of the zoning, you'll see the PD 2302 in blue. And so then that red that's just to the west of that will be our Phase 2 and 3. There's also a concept plan in here if you'll go on further back. Katie, I'm sorry, go back to the front, Katie. Okay, so on the front is the concept plan, and that shows on to the right, Phase 2. To the left is Phase 3. There was, again, 14 abutting landowners in this area, mainly the commercial development here. And we're asking that you accept and make their recommendation to City Council for November the 4th. And I'll pause for the public hearing.
Thank you, ma'am. We're going to go and open the public hearing, item 6.1. This is zone change application, PD 25-15, to an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, amending Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell and changing the zoning classification from retail to planned development multifamily on approximately 40.663 acres of land depicted on the foreclosure sale deed in Exhibit A, described and depicted on the land boundaries plat attached hereto as Exhibit B. Also included in the site plan Exhibit C and building standards as described in Exhibit D, and made a part here for all purposes, amending the official zoning map, providing a penalty, providing repealing savings and severability, providing for the publication and effective date. Okay, this is a public hearing. Do we have anyone in the audience that wish to address the board in regards to anything not in favor or in favor? Oh, come on up, sir. Go ahead and state your name and your address, please, sir.
Sure. Jeff Lindsay, I'm with Westwood Residential, 3198 Parkwood Boulevard, Frisco, Texas. We are the developer of Phase 1 that's under construction right now and should be opening around the first of the year. And we have worked with the landowners at length in order to try to find a suitable layout for this land. If you look at the site plan and you can see kind of the V that cuts these two parcels into pieces, the reason it is laid out as such is because we have two very big easements that run through this property. The one that runs kind of straight north-south right there, that's one pipeline. And then if you go over to the other side, there's an electric easement and yet another pipeline. So the pipelines prohibit you developing directly onto or on top of these pipelines for obvious reasons. So we had a devil of a time working with our architect and getting it laid out. But I think what we've put together are a couple of nice layouts. The buildings will lay out well. They will be positioned to the perimeter streets. And the only place that we are crossing the pipeline is if you look at the center line where there's the cul-de-sac that comes down, and then that will actually be paved across the pipeline to get you to Phase 3. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I think you can see by what we're putting on the ground right now that we will put properties that are complementary to that. It won't be the exact same thing that's put down. We'll put down something that, like I said, is a good complement and just keep building one phase after the other. From an overall timing perspective, if we get this approved and going, we would probably not start this phase until about September of this year. So you will not see additional units delivered until March of '27. And then that whole process kind of begins again, where we would then start the next process. And it takes, roughly 9-10 months to get things up and running from a plan standpoint, and then 18 months to deliver the first units. So you're talking about things that are delivering out in '27 and well beyond that. So it's not going to hit all at once is what I'm trying to.
Thank you very much.
Any questions I'm happy to answer, or?
We'll go out there after we close the public hearing, yes, sir.
Okay. Aye.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that we should speak in favor of? Your name and address, please, sir.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. I'm Carlton Tidwell, President of the Terrell Economic Development Corporation. I live at 1222 War Admiral Drive in Terrell. And I do want to speak in favor of this change. The Terrell Economic Development Corporation just finished our 5-year strategic plan. And one of the items that came up in that were the lack of housing choices for people as they come to Terrell. And multifamily is a very important part of those choices for families. And so with the growth potential in Terrell, with the businesses that are being recruited, the families that are coming to Terrell, I feel this is a very important option for them. And it is timed well within the next 5 years. We think by the end of our 5-year strategic plan that the growth will be substantial and the need for a multifamily option on this site is critical. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Is anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak in favor? Yes, sir. Please state your name and address, please.
Good evening. My name's Charles Hodges, 13642 Omega, Dallas. Our firm was privileged to be the master planner of all of the crossroads, so it's a familiar face. It's good to see everybody. This property was intended to be nothing other than density residential. When we did the original master plan on both sides of 148, the Bucky side and the retail side, this has always been destined in our mind and in the master plan that was adopted to be density residential. So that's the first half of my speech. Second half of my speech is one of the participants in Film Alley. Retail needs Monday through Thursday patronage. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday take care of themselves. If any of you are in the retail business, you know that you've got to survive Monday through Thursday to be successful. This brings the people in a walkable proximity to all of our retail stores, to Film Alley, to all of our entertainment opportunities now and in the future. So this is globally important for the master plan to be successful, is to bring families in. I mean, we didn't get the benches set on the walk around the lake before people were using it. I mean, it literally, that's what we want, is a walkable master plan. And so we've set it up this way. We would hope you would support density residential here, because it is the master planned use for this property. The Schulman family's here from Film Alley, and I'll ask them to come.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in? Hello, sir.
How you doing? Jacob Schulman, address 7701 North FM 113, Weatherford, Texas. I kind of halfway thought Charles was joking when he wanted me to testify. But, I mean, as a business owner here in Terrell, I mean, multifamily is obviously important for not just our guests, but also our workforce. So, I mean, giving them affordable housing for them to move in. Workforce is always a challenge, especially in, Film Alley for us, we need a good amount of workers. And so that offers that. And then also, young families and others to come and have affordable housing, so.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Is there anyone else that wishes to speak in favor? Okay. Do we have anyone that wants to speak not in favor of this project? No? Oh. Yes, sir. State your name and address, please, sir.
I'm sorry?
Your name and address, please.
Marshall Johnson, 7316 Rose Hill Drive, Terrell. But I own property 200 feet from where you're all proposing to do what you're doing, and I built a wetland there several years ago. And I'm already being impacted now to the east where they're building houses. And when they start this in the back, it's probably going to shut me down altogether. I know I got no chance of y'all changing your mind of what you're all going to do and everything, but I just need some help with cleaning up. Because right now, I can tell you what the people are eating for lunch across the street where they're building houses right now. And just can about imagine what's going to happen with that 300 and some acres. I mean, every time they start a new house, they shingle it, they build these, temporary storage bins out of plywood with no lid on them. And you all know how the wind blows in Texas. I mean, and it's blowing all over on me, and that's all I do is pick up. And I've got 3 large tanks over there that I'm fishing paper out of all the time, and lunch bags and anything else they got over there. And that's my main concern, is needing some help. I've called the city before. I can't see where they did anything at all with what I've got on the east side of me. But now I'm gonna have this on the west side of me. This is gonna be 10 times bigger. And, I've got a lot invested in this wetland. And, I've got some good duck hunting in there right now. And I imagine, I don't know what's gonna happen with ducks and geese, they kind of adapt to people, it might still be pretty good, but I'm sure it's not gonna be what it was. But anyhow, that's my main concern, is that I wish the city would take care of picking up trash or policing what the people are doing over there when the wind's blowing especially. But anyhow, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time, sir. Is there anyone else who wants to speak not in favor of this project? No? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and close the public hearing. Commissioners, do you have any questions for either for Jenna or for the developer in regards to PD 25-15?
I had a question in regards to the pipelines that are running in the property. I'm assuming that encroachment agreements already in place with that pipelines?
Would it be a question for the developer? or-
Developer question, making sure that the encroachment agreements
you
are
come up
also
real quick?
part of this.
Just for you?
Easement agreements are in place and have been for quite some time. I think they were reworked not too terribly long ago. But what this layout and design does is stays completely out of the easements. So, we had the right in certain areas to pave or park over it, and we just thought the best thing to do would be just stay out of the easements and just keep it clean.
I do have a question.
Sure.
This phase is just finishing up. I don't want to be able to have us build a bunch of apartments or multifamily and be empty. And I know we had the economic developer come in and tell us that we need them. How soon are rental, are you renting, is it going to be first phase? Is it going
Right around the
good?
first of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, we stopped by on the way here and just checked it out, and it may be running a little ahead of schedule. We'll just have to see when property management wants to get it geared up and open up.
Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Okay? Anything?
Any other questions for the developer?
Do you know when this was zoned for retail?
That would be when the original zoning came through.
2010, and this was the concept plan that went in that zoning ordinance. And it shows here's the south side, Sage Hill, 148, Spur, 557. And that was the 2010 ordinance with the city. And so it stated it was retail, but the approved concept plan with the city shows about 80 acres of multifamily along Sage Hill.
Does that include the acreage that's already in multifamily?
This 80 acres, so when this is all built out on this current plan, that will be 70 acres total with all the phases. So it's 10 acres less that was approved in the concept plan.
So from the original concept plan from 2010, the total number of acres for multifamily was 80 acres?
Correct.
And at the end of these multiple phases, the total number of multifamily residences?
70.
70 acres?
Correct.
Thank you, sir. any more questions for the janitor or the developer or anyone?
I have a comment, just to the developer, to address what the last gentleman just spoke about. If, there were measures that could be taken to help prevent littering and trash and things that are going to his property, maybe extra precautions or something that the developer can take with the companies there.
Commissioner, the comment that Mr. Johnson made will apply to the next public hearing. He's affected on 305, and so the second agenda that Raylan will present is the one. And so I'll invite him back up to make his statement again for that actual agenda item.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner, if we have any more questions, I'll entertain a motion in regards to PD 25-15.
I move that we approve.
I have a motion to approve ordinance 3150, PD 25-15. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope, motion carries. We move on to item 6.2. Conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding a city-imposed zone change from commercial and agriculture to planned development mixed use on approximately 290 acres of land identified as 47.292 acres of the J.C. Hale Tract 575, 248.403 acres in the J.C. Hale Tract 700, and 94.378 acres in the J.C. Hale Tract 565, identified in the Kaufman County CAD Property ID 7653, 7666, and 7654. This is PD 25-3154. Presented by Raylan. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so Katie, if you'll go ahead and take me to the first map. I want to get everyone a little bit oriented. So we all love I-20. We all love Crossroads. We all love what we know is the Baylor property. And those developers are very, very excited about the I-20 access roads that TxDOT has been talking about for years. So in an attempt to put together a plan for property that we know developers are going to be looking at, rather than waiting back for developers to come forward, we've been meeting with City Council and talking a little bit about, you definitely have your future land use map that we'll reference during this presentation, but to really talk about the number of units, the number of rooftops, how many more rooftops are they comfortable with in bringing into that area, especially when we overlay the thoroughfare map. So I wanted to open tonight, just letting you know that this is staff working with the information that we know from developers who are interested in this property. The unit numbers that it will take for some of those big box retailers, which we've all heard about, and also keeping in mind the unit number targets that we know are out there for things like emergency rooms and medical facilities. So looking at this property in particular, and I will tell you, next month, we will come forward with the property on just the other side of I-20 next to Buc-ee's, which is formerly known as the Baylor property. So we've been taking a deep dive into both of these areas, knowing that that is where the growth is going to happen. So what we have before you today is, this is the location. The next map is the current zoning. So right now, we are sitting with commercial and ag. We didn't really like the idea of it just being open commercial, and we didn't want to do flat zoning on the residential, because we wanted to be able to make sure that we had maximums on the unit numbers. So you have 3 parcels that the PD is worded such that no matter how many developers come to the table for this property, that we have an overall count. And so each developer has to work within a percentage based on the amount of acreage that they would actually end up with. I believe the next map is the future land use, which when we go to the next page, you'll realize that we tried to keep in line with the future land use. And I'm sorry, the next one is the exhibits, where I go into a little bit of detail, and then I'll show you, it's not a concept plan where you see lines and parcels and ideas. It's general locations of where we would want to see the residential and the non-residential. So some of the highlights for the PD, and like I said, you will see a similar layout. We tried to use this base zoning for both sides of I-20 when we look at the height of the signs, the number of signs that are allowed, the types of businesses. We want to create a world where, depending on what the developer wants, the access is the same on both sides. That way we're not benefiting one developer over the other. And so you've got a mix of commercial, residential, multifamily, and residential single-family. You'll see in the standards and uses where we have the approximate number of acreage that's available for each one of those uses, and we also max out our multifamily at 900. That means that no matter how many developers are on this property, there will be no more than 900 multifamily units. And so every time a concept plan is presented to staff and it comes forward for P&Z and city council approval during the construction plat process, you'll see the overall and you'll see how we're deducting from the master plan. Some of the highlights, we have the permitted uses. We made sure that we covered most of the non-residential uses that we understand would possibly come in with an item like this. Mini warehouse and self-storage is a very hot topic. I don't know if there was a big conference recently, but we've had several people come forward. So rather than requiring an SUP for these areas, we're just making sure that the design and location is conducive on the concept plan. So you wouldn't necessarily come back to that, but there will definitely be some scrutiny as far as the location within the master plan. One thing, it does say industrial general, but just keep in mind that that's wholly enclosed, and so that could be a larger office space, et cetera. But we don't offer any of the outdoor storage yards if that's their primary use. We definitely have some prohibited uses, and any use that's not listed specifically on this ordinance would require an SUP. So we just did that blanket statement, so if they're coming back wanting something that we did not specifically ask, it will come back to P&Z as an SUP. Making sure that we have some good buffers between commercial and multifamily uses and the single family, because we recognize that that could be different developers. So we definitely put some teeth into those transition and buffers. For your non-residential, it's pretty typical for your maximum height and your setbacks. We didn't have a whole lot of changes from the typical. Your multifamily, we did the calculation just based on trying to get those 900 units between the entire property and allowing for the majority of the residential to be single family. We've put together a single family 6.1, which is a 6,000 square foot lot. Minimum floor area for the house is 2,400. Giving a little bit of leeway on front facades, front porches. We really are wanting builders to give us some different options. What we've noticed a lot with some of the developments coming in, they have listened to our zoning ordinance. Our zoning ordinance is very specific to the house you will build. And when you look around, that's why a lot of our houses are starting to look all the same. And so we're trying to kind of come back from that a little bit. We would like to see some creativity from the builders. So we didn't want to make that so strict that they didn't feel like they could give us some ideas of what some of that housing could look like. Single family 5 is a 5,500 square foot lot. Minimum house size is 2,000. We also have a single family 4, which is a 4,000 square foot, and then the developer also has the option to go to a townhouse residential rather than the single family 4. So we're hoping that working with different designs and the percentages that we can get a good variety of the different homes coming in here. And then the minimum for that would be 1,500 square feet. Landscaping and screening mainly talks to what the buffer is going to look like between the commercial and the multifamily. Definitely addressing outdoor storage. Signage, we have to look at it, just like the master concept plan, we will also have a master signage plan. So there's a maximum number of signs on the entire property, and it's not first come, first serve. It's based on percentages and where the buildings are. Again, the master concept plan you will not see. There will not be a concept plan filed with this. It's just the areas that we would like to see the different uses. But each development, minimum is 10 acres to be considered a phase or a developer coming forward. So we like to see this built out in phase at least 10 acres at a time. That way, we don't have someone jumping in and only doing multifamily, but that they're having to give us some variety with their phasing. Construction plat requires P&Z and city council with each phase, and that is an update to the master concept plan also. Just like anything else, minor amendments, we listed some things based on calculations because we know that we're going in with an idea, being able to make some deviation on the percentages or numbers, not multifamily units, but percentages on the total acreage. We can change up to 20%, and of course, major amendments would come back through city council. And like I said before, any uses not listed as permitted will definitely require an SUP, so we don't have any surprises. So the next page is actually the map that shows the property and what we're kind of looking at. We were looking at the natural break in some of the parcels. We overlaid one of the major thoroughfares that we know has to go through this property. So that would give us the divide between the commercial and residential. And then the next page is the highway sign location map. And so that accounts for your 3 pole signs. And that way there is no question where those signs will be located whenever we get to that point. The last few pages was just the 200 feet buffer and everyone who received a notification. And as of this afternoon, we did have one public hearing sheet that was returned, and it was in opposition to this zone change. So I will let y'all have the public hearing and then be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, we're going to open the public hearing in regards to ordinance number 3154, zone change applications, PD 25-16. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, amending Appendix 2, zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell, and changing the zoning classifications of certain property from agricultural and commercial to a planned development mixed-use district, providing for the regulation and the residential and non-residential uses on approximately 390.07 acres of land depicted on Exhibit A, land map and described as 47.292 acres of the J.C. Hill Tract 575, 248.403 acres of the J.C. Hill Tract 700, and 94.378 acres of the J.C. Hill Tract 565, identified as Kaufman County CAD property ID 7653, 7666, and 7654. amending the official zoning map, providing a penalty, providing repealing, savings, and severability, providing for the publication of an effective date. Okay, it's a public hearing, so is there anybody in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of PD 25-16? Okay. Oh,
I don't want it to just be nothing from.
Go ahead, state your name,
outside. My name is Robert
Robert.
Miklos, and
Your
if
address?
it wasn't obvious, I'm an attorney.
Can I have your
And
address real quick?
my address, my office address is 2500 Dallas Parkway, Plano, Texas, 75093. And it's on the 6th floor for some reason, who knows? Anyway, I represent a group of purchasers of part of the property, and it looks like this is a zoning that is very attractive. There's been a lot of give and take with the city. The city has let us know the parameters, what they'd like to see, the constraints, and I just want to commend the city staff for working very hard to make this fit your future land use plan, be sensitive to the needs of the surrounding area, as well as trying to be attractive for future development. And I know it's a shock, an attorney only talked for, 90 seconds? But that's it. But I'm also available for questions if you have any questions. But as an attorney, I couldn't tell you why a 20-foot setback from a 15-yard setback is better or worse. But I know we have a lot of very good engineers with the city and with us who've hammered that out. So they've spent a lot of time trying to figure out what's best for the development of the property. And that's it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there anyone else want to speak in favor to PD 25-16? Okay. Do we have anyone in the audience that wishes to speak not in favor of application PD 25-16? Yes, sir. State your name one more time for the record.
Marshall Johnson.
Okay, thanks, sir.
What am I supposed to say?
This is the application that affects your property that you came into the office and talked to us about.
Okay.
So you'll make your statement just like you did a while ago.
Okay, well, it's the same, that it's definitely gonna impact me. I mean, I got 31 acres there, and that pretty blue spot there, I got 3 tanks that I duck hunt on. And that you're talking about comes right up to my back fence. And it's gonna impact me big time, and I guess I oppose it. I don't want it. I mean, but simple as that. And if I can get any help, I appreciate it, because again, the paper is gonna be terrible. I know what it's gonna be, because I've already got it on the east side of me. And anyhow, thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, it's also an ag,
Thank you, sir.
and I got cows.
Is there anyone else in the audience wish to speak not in favor of PD 25-16? Not? Okay, we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing. Commissioner, do we have any questions for staff, for Raylan, or any developers?
I have a question.
Yeah, I got one quick question. I know 304 and 305. Is there plans to fix those roads?
Yeah, those are actually going to be pretty major thoroughfares that go into this. So that'll be a shared cost with the future developer also.
Okay, great, 'cause they're pretty bad. And I know they're building a church over there, a Cowboy Church, I believe.
Yeah,
And with-
County Road 304 ends up being a pretty major thoroughfare.
And started getting a lot of interest, they put more, more people going through that road.
Yeah.
pretty bad.
We have overlaid our thoroughfare map more than our fair share of time, but yes, the roadways are definitely the first things we talk about, because we got to get some relief.
Before we
Yes,
go.
sir.
Good, good. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson's property, is that part of what's being rezoned?
No, ma'am.
Where
He's
is
just
that?
within, so, see where the blue is? Over. Right there.
Okay, so he's right by it.
Looks like a swimming pool.
Yes.
And I just want to be clear, there is a buyer that y'all are zoning this for, or there is not a buyer?
There are potential buyers.
Okay. So this property, all of it is listed for sale,
Yes.
including the ag portion? So y'all are wanting to rezone it prior to someone purchasing it to request a rezone?
We do not want to wait on a developer to come and decide or ask for 1,500, 1,800 multifamily. What we wanted to do was overlay a PD so that the developer would know upfront what the expectation for the property was.
Can that not be addressed with a developer when and if they buy it?
It could be, but there is nothing to stop a developer from filling out their zone change application and making any requests to P and Z and City Council.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
Well, but isn't that the way it is now? If a builder comes in, he purchases a property, he has the right to ask for whatever zoning, then we have the right
Absolutely.
to approve or not approve.
Yeah, no.
Because those were my questions too, is, so we're just doing this in advance to kind of, I guess, so that we set the boundaries as to kind of what we, but still, don't they still have the right to come and ask for a zoning of it?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah,
So-
yeah. But there's just, we were trying to get ahead of having both sides of I-20 on the market and having developers hitting us from every different direction with what they would propose on that property.
But they still have the liberty to do it
Absolutely,
regardless.
yes.
Okay.
Say this is rezoned and you put limitations on rooftops. Nothing precludes a developer from coming in and saying, hey, can I have more rooftops? And they fill out a form and it's presented to planning and zoning to rezone again, correct?
Correct.
I would say that once it becomes a PD, it's really hard for it to change, isn't it? Or,
No, I mean, you can request a zone change, but what you are doing, especially when developers are in due diligence, this adds 60 to 90 days as part of their process, because a lot of developers don't want to close until zoning is complete. So depending on timing, and I will say that, yes, of the people that we know are interested in this property, I mean, we talk to potential developers all day long. We tried to build a PD that would hopefully accommodate what the city council and the P and Z in our community hopefully wants to see out there, and give a developer something that they could work in a better time frame.
We're basically just trying to get, or have developers that want something bigger, not even look at this area. For me, one, it's gonna
Right.
take them a little longer to do something in regards to this property, so we're just trying to limit to that.
Yes.
Gotcha.
They still can do that. I mean, I'm just
Oh, yeah,
saying.
anybody can ask for a zone change. Yeah, there's nothing that would ever prevent someone from doing that. Just when we were talking to city council and kind of talking them through what a city imposed zone change looks like, it's kind of that conversation about the controlled growth. You can't control it, but you can try to put some parameters in there. And so this is city council's attempt at putting forward what we believe would work in that area.
So this, what you're presenting to us, that's what I was gonna ask you, this exhibit in this plan development standard and use has already been approved by, it's just a recommendation coming from the council?
It is a conversation that
Okay.
I have had with
Okay.
council.
So
Nothing
this is
has
recommendations
gone,
from your department
yes,
to come through to us and then go to
still a
council?
staff recommendation to P and
Just
Z and
staff
then
rec-
city
okay.
council.
Because
Yes,
one of the questions I had was about, I mean, not to say I'm in favor of bars and nightclubs, but for us to say the prohibited uses of some of these, especially out there where we're having commercial areas and we're having young families come in and apartments and all this stuff, sometimes those are things that they want, is a bar, or, we do have a big liquor store out there, but I'm just asking, who came up with the prohibited use? Who came up with these uses? These are just recommendations from your department.
recommendation.
So
from
will
staff.
these recommendations is there an opportunity if when it comes down to it, are these gonna just all go as approved? Or is there a opportunity for discussion on what's allowed, not allowed in those kind of?
This is up for,
So this is the
yeah,
time. That's what
discussion
I'm
with P and
asking.
Z.
Okay.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was asking,
Mm-hmm.
because, I mean, you know,
Keep in mind, some of the changes they can also do as an SUP, which we have better control.
right, that's what I was gonna say, ask.
Yeah.
And they have every right to submit an SUP if they want to do that, which is better for us, because that way we control better.
Right, what they
For a
do.
limited time, so.
Okay, okay. But I just didn't know, because like you said, if, a buyer or someone who comes in and they wanna do something, you know, big entertainment, something out there, and they see it's prohibited, they may think, well, I can't, you know, but there still is the opportunity to do the special.
Yes, and,
So I guess
and
kinda
just
what
kind
I'm
of keep in mind, the reason that we list the bars and nightclubs that way is that is when no food is served. So
Mm-hmm.
as soon as you serve food, now you fall within that restaurant and
Right.
not bars. So, there's a lot of businesses
leeway
who'd be able
with
to
it,
do both,
exactly.
yeah.
And I guess what, I guess kind of the thought was, why are we doing this in ahead when we still got to deal with whatever the builder comes in and wants to, you know? I mean, I know it's not well, in a way, to me, it's kind of like a waste, I know, a waste of time, because they still can come and say what they want to do, and we still have to approve that. So,
Unless
doing this?
that, well, because if you do approve this, then we are immediately able to start working with the developer, and if they like what we've presented here, they're gonna go straight to construction plat.
okay. But if
And
they
so-
don't like it, they still have the opportunity
What was the
to,
timeframe, what was the timeframe rating said? More they have to
It
add?
saves about 60 or 90
He
days.
said 90 days more that they have to wait.
right, but
If
if
they,
this,
and if they like our plan, the one we approved tonight, then they can go ahead and start construction. That's a, you know, in construction, 30 days is a lot.
I understand, but I'm just wondering why. But, okay.
It seems like this is a way to pave the way for a developer who has interest but doesn't want to wait to then attract them to purchase the property. And I'm all about restricting rooftops. But if that ultimately isn't what is going to happen if they come in and request more, I don't see the point in doing it now. If they can just come back and say, well, we want to do another 80 acres of,
If I was a developer and I decided that this PD that went in front of P and Z and City Council, if it was approved, and I decided, gosh, 900 units is not going to be near enough, I'm definitely going to go forward and ask them for 1,500. As a developer, I should not be surprised if both parties say no to that. If P and Z and City Council have agreed to what's in this plan, then I am taking a bigger chance of saying, no, I know better, and I want 1,000 more houses. And it would not surprise me if P and Z and City Council did not approve a different zoning.
what's to prevent the developer from coming in and saying, I want 1,500 houses, and the city saying, no, we've got to restrict this, we'll compromise at 900, and that being brought to P and Z for approval? Nothing? Like, that could be done? Like, you guys can, I guess the question is, can you guys still put restrictions and parameters in place with the developer while y'all are working together and before it's rezoned? Or does it have to be rezoned to have those restrictions?
No, it would have to be rezoned. Y'all are setting restrictions that we cannot, development agreement change, we can, like, this would be the bones of what would be built there. So we couldn't go in with the as staff, we couldn't say, oh, well, I know that the PD says 600 units or 900 units, but we're gonna let you do 1,000.
That's not the question. The question is the opposite. Let's say we don't rezone it, and the developer comes to you and says, we want to do 1,500 units, and y'all say, no, we really can't sustain that growth out here, we need 900 units. What's to prevent that from happening? And you putting the restrictions in place at that point? Anything?
No, you could absolutely do that, except when it comes to P and Z and City Council, you would see a request for 1,200 units and staff recommendation is denial, and that's it. Like, there's no,
Staff can recommend a denial and give a reason for that. Okay.
yeah.
And at this point, we're just basically just telling them, hey, you know, just forcing a 900 units, that's it. It's a lot easier, you know, instead of them coming out to try to ask for more. That's where, and if we agree to it, city council, and if we agree to it, and we recommend to city council, and then they approve it, then we're just limited at that. I mean, they can change it, come back and change it. But if developers are gonna go out there and look, and they're saying, you know what, it's gonna be more of a work or hassle to do it, it may go a different route.
It seemed like, I don't know, that, like, kind of, what we were saying in the beginning is that maybe we're trying to kind of setting this up in favor of maybe someone, you know, that's kind of trying to do this or whatever, or we're trying to restrict, you know, I don't know, why are we doing this particular property? Why are we trying to restrict what they can do? And and if we're doing a zone change, okay, can we not change the zoning without then putting all of these standards and permitted and all these uses in place? Do we have to, along with the zone change, do we have to put this in place as well? You know, why are we restricting?
If we do a planned development, yes.
Okay, so as a city, ahead of time, we're gonna restrict with this particular property what we want out there, is what we're saying. Basically, we're saying what it
Along the
is.
corridor. You know, I want to clarify, I've tried to be quiet, but you spoke on something where you've made us the decision makers.
Right, that's right.
Okay, I want to clear something really quick, is that's really not our position. So you could be coming to, the staff could be coming to you with 2,000 units. And you've kind of made, well, you don't want that. Well, I don't want to be in that position of where we're acting as the decision makers, because that's really the P and Z's decision. What this tool will guide us, and we've had multiple, it's not just one. So it's just not one trying to get everything. We've had multiple prior to that we've had some outlandish requests, but they didn't succeed for various reasons, not just the staff or anything like that. This tool right here helps narrow the gap. So whenever who is ever interested in, if they elect to go from 500 to 1,200, then they'll have to come forward and submit a zone change or SUP or whatever. What that tells a developer, any developer, that you've made a decision, you as a P&Z and as a city council, that you've narrowed the window that they can look out. What a developer doesn't like doing is spending a lot of time and money and, you know, lawyers and paperwork of analyzing, going, what is our chances? And they're just looking at mitigating risk. And now they're going, well, they approved, you know, 500 or 1,000, whatever you approve in this. Then if we want to go 10%, they might think that we can get there. But if they want to double it to 1,500, they know their chances and their position of the P&Z and the council is, no, we want to minimize that. So that's kind of the two differences of the two, of doing it prior to. Granted, it doesn't change them from wanting to ask for the world. Anyone can do that, and we are obliged to that. But I don't want to get into a situation where we're going to go, no, you can't do that, and then you find out that staff is turning down things that the city wants, and we don't want to be in that position. That's not our role.
I understand that, and I think that, yeah, when we say y'all, like that, y'all get
Yeah.
pigeonholed into that. But ultimately, there is someone making this recommendation for these number of houses.
Yeah, and so we got basically the law of averages. This is the general concept and the kind of the tone and what we've seen in the last couple of years, even with the discussion of additional multifamilies, additional single families, even with developers wanting to come in and put 40-foot lots and 70-foot lots. We kind of get the sense of what the council and the P&Z. So you have the freedom to change and
Yeah,
in it, but
I think, I like the idea of having the parameters there. I'm almost thinking that we need to discuss and think about how many, units are gonna be available there. You say 900, but if we only want 600, we can vote for that. And so if we want to put even more restrictions on it, to let them know that we're serious about the fact that we don't want 1,500 rooftops there, then we have that option. I'm not saying we should do it, but I'm just saying we have that option.
And right now, this is just a vision. I mean, there's no one right now that has purchased the property and planning on doing anything with it. This is just what the city, this is what we're wanting our city to look like for future use.
We designed this based on, we've had numerous Development Review Committee meetings on this property and also the property that I'm bringing you next month. We get lots of people who are kicking tires, who have ideas. We've seen a wide variety of ideas in this area. And so as staff, we are trying to be a little proactive We've heard the community, we've listened to city council, we've listened to P and Z, so we're just trying to, like Chris said, maybe mitigate a few things up front if we can. And absolutely, the developer still can come forward, fill out a zoning application and request whatever they want. But at least this gives them some reading material of what the P and Z and city council agreed that they would look at in that area.
And we're not restricting them to,
They
for them not
definitely
to
need
come.
guidelines.
So just giving them kind of an idea of what they can do out there.
Who determined the 900 and why? I mean, who determines that? I mean, is it based on what the land can accommodate? I mean, why did we come up with those numbers and why?
It was based on the percentage of acreage, so if you took the total acreage that was out there, you're gonna make me pull out all of my
You don't have to go to
my
details,
math.
but you're just
No,
saying
my
based on
math.
what you
So
calculate
no,
what
like
the
when we were
property can
looking
maintain.
at all of the different, the acreage for each one of those parcels, and if you wanted to make sure that your multifamily was less than 20% of all of the acreage. So we wanted to make sure, this is just an example, we wanted to make sure that multifamily was no more than 80 acres. And so based on the setback requirements and the acreage for that, you cannot get any more than 900 units there.
Okay, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, so it's based on what the
Yeah,
size is
it
and
was
what
based
can
on total
encompass.
acreage, and we broke it down from that. We
And
have,
the percentages of what you want in that desire in that area, and that's what the staff is recommending for, in that area.
Yeah.
So then you're presenting to us to say yes or no, and then present, okay, but it doesn't, like I said, still comes back, it doesn't have to be that.
right, we broke it down. You've got less than 20% multifamily. We're sitting at about 40% commercial and 40% residential. And so we were looking at the rooftop numbers. We have the information from the big box retailers. We know, about the number of units that, we're getting really close. But and this will be key
And does-
locations for big box
Does this all
retailers.
take into account, because I live out there in that area, take the, the traffic, so you're looking at that too, as far as
Yes.
how people getting in and out of that area and.
This
all of
this
the-
property will be surrounded by 4-lane roadways
Okay.
all the way around.
I know
Yeah,
we were
so
talking about the thoroughfare,
yeah,
but
so
also
once
just-
it's built out, these are very large thoroughfares that will have to be built in there as well.
there'll be traffic impact analysis done on all that.
Okay, so you're talking about 4-laning, like 304?
Do you know the exact right-of-way for County Road 304?
I don't know the exact right of way, but yes, it would be 4-lane or 2-lane, minimum 2-lane. The road going through the property will be probably 4-lane.
Okay, so our property is right there on 304, okay? So right now, it's a 2-lane road, barely.
Barely, yeah, barely.
So if you come in there, where are you gonna get the other part to make your road that much bigger? You taking it from the landowners?
For the 304, if that road is deemed to be widened, then yes, there would be through land acquisitions and easements and things for right of ways.
Okay. And so that back area there where you see the big pond and everything and all, where our property butts up to. Okay, if you put family homes back there, are y'all gonna build some kind of tall wall so that they won't be coming in onto our property? Because that's what happens now, is we have people come in on our property and fish in our pond and steal our fish. And then try to steal our other stuff. And so, so we have that to contend with all the time.
So, and I respect that very much, and we will work with that. This today is a planning and zoning issue. You're getting into specifics. I'd love to talk with you about how we can address that.
Yeah. In regards to that,
I know, yeah, but I want to make sure we stay on focus as far as the P and Z.
now keep in mind, it's just a guideline that we can approve tonight, whether we approve it or we.
Nobody's building.
Nobody's building anything. We still got construction plans that gotta come through.
So
And they're
based on
right.
that, does that mean that we could put something in there that would mandate a wall, as they've suggested?
That's during construction plan, ma'am, yes, ma'am. And that's something that will be handled at a later time. If, and usually when they do a construction plan, there are easements that are built out in regards to barriers that they have that that staff has to implement, correct?
And there is particular screening that would go into a place. There's more screening that's required whenever you're building next to existing residential. And so they would still have to follow all of those construction.
We're just approving for the zoning change, a guideline, and if they can come back in and say, hey, we want 1,500 units, they're more than welcome to do that at that time, and then we'll look at it at that time if we decide to allow that. If not, then we can always deny it too.
I do have
Right
another
now,
question.
we're just having,
I do have another question. So is this a best business practice? Is this something that we will typically do before we accept bids from developers? Or is this kind of like a new
This
thing?
is an update. Terrell is in a unique position to where we need to actually go in and update our future land use plan because of the amount of land that has been annexed and the number of developments that are currently under construction. And so this board will luckily get to start that process in calendar year 2026 and 27. It'll take us 2 years to get a new comprehensive plan. So in the next 6 to 8 months, I'm just going to give you a heads up. We have a lot of agriculture land out there that if we don't do some city-imposed zoning, we are opening ourselves up to people checking boxes and getting different items inside the city. So it's generally not common practice when you have a comprehensive plan that's not 8 or 9 years old like ours is, but we have also annexed a lot of property in the last few years. So over the course of the next few months, you will see a couple more of these come to you, yeah. And really, we're trying to keep up with the development instead of letting it lead us. We're trying to be a little bit proactive.
I like that idea because in my area, you have wrecking yards and
I know.
everything else, salvage yards.
And it's because
if
they
we
can
don't- if we
do
don't do
one-off
something now,
pop-ups, yeah.
They'll put a meat packing plant right next to you, and that would be reeking, and who wants that in their city limits? And I know I sure don't. So I'm glad we've been proactive, because we do not need that in our city.
And I will say, the one reason that we really wanted to do an overlay PD is because these are such large parcels, they could be separated up into teeny tiny parcels and sold out individually. And so we want to keep it to where we're looking at it like a whole instead of just like a zoning use. So just because they're very large parcels and they still could be replatted and they still could be sold off in different sections, we wanted to go ahead and combine all of this into one master concept.
One last question. Is this city-owned property?
No.
No?
But the
The
city,
property owners are fully aware and on board with this, right?
the property owners are aware, the city can go in and do city-imposed zone changes based on comprehensive plan and the best public use.
What is their recourse if they don't agree? Do they come to us, or who do they come to? You guys, if we approve this, you guys should just unilaterally impose a zone change?
This is why it is a city-imposed zone change. Yes, ma'am.
And none of these property owners came in today, right? Just for the
We
record?
just have the one gentleman.
Who are they? I mean, like, we have been in conversation with the actual property owners. We would never bring you a city imposed where we have not had a conversation with the owner. Yeah.
I'm the project manager, and we also have Ron here's the project manager, and Robert, so we're representing the owners.
So since they didn't get any letters, apparently they're not opposing it.
So I'm sorry, I'm not trying to drag this out. So there's project managers, there's an attorney, like clearly there is something in the works here. And I'm not understanding why this is being done before they do something, they pull the trigger. So if there's a project manager, could I ask a question?
They are under contract, but it is not the entire property that's being proposed to you today. So the example that I gave you just a second ago, these properties are going to be replatted. They are going to be sold off in sections to possibly different owners. And yes, there is a group in the room that is in their due diligence process of a portion of this property. But the city wants to look at the entire property as a whole instead of one small area or acreage.
Right,
They're
when
not
you
at
keep
liberty to
saying,
Tell us, you guys, what they're gonna put out. I mean, they're just not at liberty to go in detail about this. We really need to understand. We've spent 25 minutes on a zone change. Either we're gonna do it or not. We don't
keep in
need to
mind-
know what's out there, what they're gonna put out there. That's none of our business. At this time, that has not been presented to us. This is just the first part of it, a zone change. That's what we need to focus on, and not, are they keeping, what are they doing, what are they gonna do with it? It's not time for that yet. We just need to focus on this zone change. Are we gonna go for it or not?
I
Not
keep
what they're
referring to
putting
the
out there.
city. Who is the city? You said with the cities, who are you talking about? The staff? I mean, because it's not the council and it's not us. So when you keep saying the city, whatever,
We have met with, the staff,
okay, the staff.
has met with multiple developers.
Okay.
And we understand which stage of the process they're in. Staff has been in contact with these property owners. There are 3 property owners. And yes, there is a group here who has interest in some of this property. There are other groups involved in the mass of
Well,
the
like we
property.
have in the past, and we always do, why don't we let those people come forth and present what they want to do, and then we approve it or we don't, rather than we setting up a parameter for what, it's kind of like we're trying to keep some people out, but we setting this up so that it's good for the ones that want to, I don't know, I guess we just need to go to a vote.
Yeah, because what it seems like is that it's giving it a fair advantage to a lot of other people. It seems a little bit like we need to spend more time on this, but I'm ready to make a vote.
Okay, one thing, just keep in mind, okay? Like I said, this is not something that we're just closing the door on in regards to this. We're limited, we're doing the limitation right now, but whoever buys it or whoever does buy it or purchase it, they do have the option to come back in and offer, and ask for more. So just keep that in mind. So we're not just saying, okay, you know what, we're gonna special to a specific group. We're gonna vote how we're gonna vote, but we're not limited anything to anything. They can come back in at any time and request more or less. We may have a developer that wants less houses out there. We don't know yet. We're just trying to put a limit to it right now. Let them go forward. They can now start working with, their Raylan staff and decide if they want They want to do something bigger or something smaller. All we're gonna do tonight is basically either we're gonna vote in for the zoning change, that's it.
And
Nothing
then
in
they'll come
particular, we're not gonna look at construction plat right now, because that's not in the project. We're just either gonna vote, keep it as retail, or we're gonna vote it and do a zone change to, what we have here to mixed use, a planned development mixed use. Okay, it's already commercial and it's already agriculture. That's it, that's what we gotta focus on right now, not what was being built out there, whether today or tomorrow. We're just gonna focus on the zone change from, from agriculture, commercial to a planned development. Keep that in mind.
And then they'll tell us more about
Correct.
what they're
Okay.
gonna do with it.
So with that, do I hear, I'll entertain a motion right now.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we can approve the zone change, but at this point in time, hold on the plan development standards. Can we not do that?
No, because we're actually
for
voting
mixed
for
use?
the planned development, mixed use. Now, keep in mind, when you're voting on this, we're not keeping it like it's gonna be a sacred thing. They can change it, they can request a change. So right now, we're just, leave it.
So then we'll find out what's gonna happen later.
Right, and what I'm saying is I'm okay with changing it to multi-use, but I'm not okay with the standards
Okay,
and the.
Well, right now, we're looking
limiting.
at doing from,
It's an all or nothing.
correct, we're gonna do
Okay,
either
all or
agri,
nothing. Okay.
Make a motion.
so I'll go in, again, Cliff, what was your motion on that, ma'am? And do I have a motion?
Okay, I move that we approve the zone change PD 25-3154.
Okay, I have a motion to approve PD 25-16, ordinance number 3154. Do I have a second? I need a vote in regards to that.
No, it dies.
Okay, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, I want to see, how many, raise your hand, please, so we can have a physical
Aye.
count on, not opposed, but approve. All in favor? We got 1, 2, 3. Okay. All opposed? We got 4. Okay, motion is not approved. All right. We got 3 in favor and 4 not in favor. So motion carries is not in favor. Okay. All right, we're going to go on to item number 7, discussion item. The city has issued warning regarding email scams, solicited payments for bogus application fees. Jana?
Well, once again, we've had someone go in, look at our publications online, take information, and send out bogus invoices. So we appreciate the applicants that are the ones that report it to us. We love, getting that information firsthand. We did send the information to our IT department and to our police department. The one good thing IT did confirm was our server was not exposed, and that it was basically taking our public agenda off our website and creating those invoices. So I just wanted you to be aware that we're under it, we're taking care of it, and they say there's no way to really ever catch these bogus emails. But we did warn and put it on our Facebook page and other media sources that even though, yes, the city of Terrell does use email services, please make sure it's from a reputable city of Terrell email address. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this the second time that's happened?
Yes, about over a year ago.
Okay.
And I made a same presentation during that time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're going to move over to item 8. Commissioners, now we have a consent item. Are there any objections to the following 8.1 or 8.2 agenda items being approved by one motion? Or do you wish to pull any of these consent agendas, in particular item for further discussion? No? Okay,
No.
do I have a motion then?
I move that we approve consent items 8.1 and 8.2.
I have a motion to approve item 8.1 and item 8.2 as stated. Do I have a second? I I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion carries. All right, that's it, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate